I sit cross-legged on the polished hardwood floor of my parents' Portland living room, surrounded by shredded wrapping paper and the artificial pine scent of Christmas morning. My sister Chelsea swirls her freshly manicured fingers around a pair of gleaming BMW keys, the metal catching the twinkle of the tree lights as she pirouettes like an overgrown teenager rather than a 32-year-old woman. I can't believe it, she squeals, bouncing lightly on her toes. My own Beamer. Dad's face shines with unfiltered pride, while Mom clasps her hands under her chin as if witnessing a revelation. The car waits in the driveway, a pristine white monument to parental devotion, complete with an oversized red bow that probably costs more than everything they purchased for my Christmas combined. Meanwhile, I stare at the object resting in my lap, a plastic piggy bank shaped like a cartoon character from a children's show I abandoned 25 years ago. They forgot to remove the $1.99 price tag. Open it, Mom urges, pointing toward the tiny rubber seal on the bottom. My fingers feel oddly stiff as I do what she asks. 2 crisp $1 bills tumble out. It's the beginning of your future home savings, honey, Dad declares with a flick of his hand. You're always so good with money, unlike some people. He winks at Chelsea, who feigns offense. Silence stretches between us like pulled taffy until Mom fills it. Chelsea needs reliable transportation for her new graphic design clients. Creative types expect a certain image, you know? Chelsea drops onto the couch beside me, her expensive perfume wrapping around my senses. Don't worry, sis, I'll chauffeur you whenever you need. She pats my knee with gentle condescension. Your little Toyota must be near death by now. The Toyota that carried me through 7 hours of mountain passes the night before. The Toyota I paid off myself 3 years back. The Toyota that's more dependable than any relationship in this room. I can't breathe. 34 years of moments exactly like this one crystallize in perfect clarity. This isn't unusual. It's the blueprint of my entire existence. Just this morning, I carefully wrapped their gifts. A leather briefcase for Dad that cost 2 weeks' salary. The silver bracelet Mom admired in a Seattle boutique window. The professional camera lens Chelsea casually mentioned wanting all purchased by setting aside a little from each paycheck for months. And I had rehearsed my announcement during the entire drive from Seattle. Senior structural engineer. A promotion earned through late nights and weekends, designing buildings meant to stand for generations. I imagine their faces glowing with pride, finally seeing me as something more than Chelsea's responsible older sister. Maybe this Christmas will finally be different, I whispered at every rest stop, every gas station, every passing mile marker. My hands tremble as I set the piggy bank on the coffee table. The plastic makes a hollow clack against the glass. Excuse me, I whisper, my voice sounding like it belongs to someone I don't recognize. Bathroom. I walk, don't run up the familiar staircase. Past the gallery of family photos where Chelsea's face dominates nearly every frame. The bathroom door shuts behind me with a soft click before I turn the lock. My reflection stares back, eyes too dry, expression too calm. I press my palms against the chilled marble countertop, willing tears to come, but nothing happens. Instead, pressure builds in my chest like concrete hardening around my lungs. People talk about heartbreak like it's vague or poetic. It isn't. I feel each chamber of my heart clenching painfully, blood forcing itself through narrowing vessels. My sternum throbs like there's a knee pressed hard against it. This must be what dying feels like, I think. Not dramatic, just shrinking. The night drags endlessly as I lie awake in my childhood bedroom, listening to Chelsea's laughter drifting upstairs while she and my parents plan her first road trip in the new car. At 2:17 a.m., I finally sit upright. I pack fast, grabbing only the things that matter, the worn stuffed bear my grandmother gave me, The college photo album, the tiny wooden box containing my first professional blueprint. The expensive gifts I brought them stay behind. They were never about thanks anyway. The house is silent as I carry my suitcase downstairs. My key sits cold in my hand for a moment before I set it on the kitchen counter beside the coffee maker, scheduled to brew in 3 hours. They've made their choice. Now I'm making mine. Streetlights smear into watery halos as I weave through the empty highway. The dashboard clock reads 3:42 a.m. Christmas morning. My windshield wipers fight thickening snow, while Bing Crosby croons about white Christmases on the radio. I twist the volume knob until his voice dissolves into silence. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. I whisper to the empty passenger seat, my voice cracking on the word merry. The irony stings like acid. Through Portland's southern edge, my Toyota's heater strains against the December cold. 7 years old with 200,000 miles. This car carried me through college, early jobs, promotions. It has never complained about steep mountain roads or cramped parking spaces. Unlike the polished BMW waiting in my parents' driveway with its ridiculous red bow, my car earned its place in my life. Around 6, my phone buzzes against the console. Mom's face lights up the screen. Not, are you safe? Not, please come home. Just, did you remember to pay the electric bill for the cabin before you left Seattle? The cabin they bought for weekend getaways that Chelsea uses for Instagram backdrops. A semi-truck barrels past, splashing slush across my windshield. For 3 terrifying seconds, I'm driving blind until the wipers carve out a window of visibility. My hands shake around the steering wheel as memories surge faster than the wipers can clear them away. 5th birthday. Chelsea's princess-themed bash with professional decor, pony rides, and a 3-tier castle cake 30 neighborhood kids in party hats. My celebration the next year, a grocery store sheet cake, 2 kindergarten friends, decorations from the dollar bin. Your sister needs social stimulation, Dad said when I asked why. You're more independent. Independent, their code for you don't need us. High school graduation, valedictorian, my carefully crafted speech about persistence and dreams. Empty seats in the family section because Chelsea's junior varsity soccer team had an away game. We'll watch the recording, Mom promised. The VHS tape sat unopened on my dresser until I left for college. Your sister needs the encouragement, Mom told me. You always succeed without her help. Without help they're code for, you're on your own. College memories rush back as road signs count down miles to the California border. 25 hours a week at the campus bookstore and cafeteria. Maximum course loads to graduate early. Stretching scholarships and loans while Chelsea explored artistic inspiration across Europe on my parents' money. Your sister needs to find herself, Dad said during one of his rare calls. You've always known who you are. Known who I am their code for, you don't deserve exploration. My phone buzzes again. Dad this time. I let it ring into voicemail. Dawn edges across the horizon as tears blur headlights into golden streaks. I pull onto the shoulder, hazard lights blinking, and rest my forehead against the steering wheel. Patterns crystallize with sudden, brutal clarity. Dad controlling money, withholding from me while financing Chelsea's every whim. Mom shaping emotions, making me feel selfish for wanting even scraps of attention. A perfectly balanced system, one parent dealing the financial favoritism, the other enforcing emotional compliance. My phone rings again. Not family this time. Monica Perez, my college roommate and lifelong friend. Where are you? Her warm, worried voice fills the car over Bluetooth. Somewhere in southern Oregon, I say, my voice hollow, unfamiliar. Heading south. To where? She asks. I don't know. Silence hums for a moment. Then come to San Francisco. Stay with me. Family doesn't treat you like this. Monica knows. She saw it all in college, the packages with necessities sent to me while Chelsea received designer clothes. The holidays I spent in empty dorms because flights home were too costly. The same year as my parents took Chelsea to Aspen and Maui, I can't impose. Stop, she snapped softly. You've spent your whole life being the helper. Let someone help you. Her words cracked something open inside me. Help so simple, yet foreign. In my family, help flows one direction to Chelsea, to my parents, never to me. Okay, I whisper, surprising myself. Text me your location every hour. Drive safe. I'm making the guest room. The call ends. I pull back onto the road, wipers clearing fresh snow, and for the first time since leaving Portland, my shoulders loosen from their defensive hunch. By 7:30 a.m., I cross into California. The welcome sign glitters in early light. My phone shows 17 missed calls and 32 unread texts. With slow, deliberate motions, I mute all notifications from Mom, Dad, and Chelsea. The silence feels heavier than any accusation. My stomach growls. I haven't eaten since last night's Christmas Eve dinner. A small roadside diner appears ahead, its neon open sign glowing like a beacon. I pull into the nearly empty lot. Inside, warmth wraps around me like a familiar embrace. Coffee-scented air, the gentle sizzle of breakfast on a hidden grill. An older waitress with silver-streaked hair approaches with a steaming pot of coffee. Long night? The waitress asks, filling a mug before I can respond. Her name tag says Gloria. Long life, I mutter, then immediately cringe at the dramatic tone. Gloria doesn't blink. Sweetheart, I've poured coffee for 40 years. I can spot heartbreak from across a room. Family or partner. Family. She nods and slides a menu in front of me. Blood makes you related. Love and respect make you family. Her weathered hand rests briefly over mine. The special's good today. Comes with extra bacon. I order it and wrap both hands around the steaming mug. Gloria's words echo in my head while I watch snowflakes melt on the diner window. Blood makes you related. Love and respect make you family. For 34 years, I have merely been related to the Collins family. Maybe it's time to discover what it feels like to belong to a family in the truest sense. 3 weeks later, I'm living with Monica in San Francisco. My phone rattles across the nightstand for the 13th time this morning. Dad, again. I inhale to 10 before silencing it, adding his call to the growing graveyard of unheard voicemails. The first week, their messages were fraught with confusion. The second week, concern. By week 3, they've shifted into something colder, manipulation disguised as authority. Iris Elizabeth Collins, Dad's latest voicemail booms when I finally listen. If you don't return that car immediately, I'll report it stolen. This childish stunt has gone on long enough. A car. My car. The Toyota titled in my name with 7 years of proof behind it. I clutch a throw pillow to my stomach, swallowing the bitterness creeping up my throat. Mom's message follows. The doctor says my blood pressure is dangerously high from the stress you're inflicting. Is that what you want? For me to end up in the hospital because you're being selfish? I delete both voicemails, though my finger hesitates longer than I'd like to admit. My temporary refuge, Monica's spare bedroom feels both unfamiliar and strangely comforting. The terracotta walls warm with morning light, creating a softness my cold Seattle apartment never managed. On the dresser, my laptop displays an email I've rewritten 14 times. Dear Mr. Sanderson. Dear Mr. Sanderson, I typed the final version. I'm writing to formally request a transfer to the San Francisco office. Effective immediately. My finger taps send before I can rethink it. No favors, no influence. Just my resume. My performance. My merit. 3 hours later, the approval lands in my inbox. Just like that. As if I was always capable of choosing my own direction. You heard back? Monica leans in the doorway, reading my face. Her dark curls frame a smile that radiates genuine happiness, still an alien feeling to me. I start Monday, I say. Now I just need a place to live. I start Monday, I repeat, still stunned. Monica grins. Already talked to Andrea from my book club. She manages apartments in the Mission. Rent-controlled, safe building, 20-minute walk to your new job. You didn't have to, I wanted to. She cuts in, dropping onto the bed beside me. Friends help friends. No strings. You could use a little of that, I know. The truth lands in my chest, heavy and sharp. No strings. No guilt. No silent debts. The tears I've held back for 3 weeks threaten to surface. I made you an appointment too, Monica adds, sliding a business card across my laptop. Dr. Levine, Tuesday at 4. The card reads, Elaine Levine, PhD, Family Therapy. I'm not. Broken, I whisper. No, Monica agrees softly. But you've been carrying something heavy for a long time. Let someone hold part of it. On Tuesday, Dr. Levine's office smells of lemon polish and old books. She wears reading glasses on a beaded chain and silent shoes that make her moves feel deliberate. She doesn't rush my silences. She waits, lets the air settle. Favoritism, I finally say. The word hangs between us like I've just discovered a new, uncharted planet. My entire life? And how did that make you feel? Like I was worth exactly $2, I tell her, later that week. Andrea shows me a small apartment, 650 square feet, a kitchenette barely large enough for a fridge. But sunlight pours through west-facing windows, painting warmth across the hardwood. It becomes mine by nightfall. I buy a futon, a lamp, a tiny desk. Nothing more. The emptiness feels intentional. A place with room to grow. That Saturday, Monica drags me to a community center. Pottery, she announces. You need something that isn't work or therapy. I protest until my hands sink into cool clay, yielding, shaping, resisting. The instructor, a silver-haired woman speckled with paint, stands behind me. Don't force it, she murmurs. Let it tell you what it wants to be. My fingers tremble as they form something from nothing. By class end, I've created a small, uneven bowl. It's ugly. It's beautiful. It's mined out the first video call comes 4 weeks post-Christmas. I answer on the third ring, bracing against the familiar guilt their faces stir up. Where have you been? Dad demands immediately, his face flushed with anger. Your mother has been worried sick? Behind him, Mom dabs eyes that are suspiciously dry. I'm in San Francisco, I say evenly. I transferred offices without consulting us first. Mom cries, crowding the screen. How could you be so thoughtless? The old instinct pulls apologize, soothe, fix. But Dr. Levine's voice replays, your feelings matter. Their reactions belong to them. I needed space, I say. Space from what? Dad snaps. Family. Responsibility. Adulthood. Space from feeling invisible, I reply, my voice steady. From being valued less than Chelsea. From trying to earn love that should have been given freely. Mom's tears spill instantly, perfectly timed. How can you say something so cruel? We've always loved you equally. I'm not responsible for your emotions anymore, I say, releasing the words like stones I've held for years. I'm responsible for mine. Dad slams his palm on the table. This discussion is over until you're ready to apologize. Then we're done talking, I answer, and end the call. Over the next days, rumors trickle through LinkedIn and texts from old coworkers. According to family gossip, I've had a breakdown. I'm living in filth. I've joined a cult. Chelsea's Instagram shows her wearing concern like an accessory. Captions full of vague heartbreak and prayers for those battling mental health struggles. My new coworkers know none of this. They know only my output, the precision of my calculations, the creativity in my designs. When Chelsea appears unannounced at my office reception 10 days later, Monica happens to be dropping off lunch. She's in a meeting, Monica says coolly, and she'll stay in meetings indefinitely for uninvited guests. My therapy group meets Wednesday nights in a church basement that smells of coffee and aging hymnals. 8 strangers connected by shared wounds. Family doesn't get a free pass just because they're family, says Raymond, a 60-year-old accountant estranged from his brother for 2 decades. Love without respect isn't love. It's possession. The words land deep, ringing like truth. 6 months after Christmas, my apartment has transformed. Pottery adorns the windowsills, each piece smoother and more intentional than the last. A real bed has replaced the futon. A promotion to senior project manager came with a raise that erased the last of my financial fear. On my bookshelf sits the plastic piggy bank. I fill it with crisp $2 bills won for every week of freedom. Not out of spite, but remembrance. Sometimes the smallest betrayals reveal the biggest truths. The first holiday season approaches with equal parts dread and relief. No obligations for gifts that won't be appreciated. No roles to perform. No shrinking to fit someone else's script. Just me in a home I built, becoming someone I am finally learning to value. Worth far more than $2. A month later, the ivory envelope rests on my kitchen counter like a delicate explosive. 3 days it sat there untouched. Cousin Vanessa's wedding invitation. My name written sweeping calligraphy, Iris Collins. No +1. Just me, expected to walk back into the fold alone. So, what are you thinking? Dr. Winters asks, leaning forward in her office chair. I run my fingers along the brass tacks of the armrest, counting one by one. I'm going, I say. Her brows lift. That's different from last week. On my terms, I add quickly. I booked a room at the Hilton 4 blocks from the venue. Dad called twice insisting I stay at their rental with everyone. And your response? Nothing. I smile, remembering the satisfaction of letting his voicemail fill with desperation. The boundary is the message. 7 months of therapy has given me a new language one for protection, for clarity, for self-worth. 7 months have passed since I walked away at Christmas. 7 months of piecing myself back together, 1 therapy appointment, 1 pottery wheel session, 1 quiet evening in my own company at a time. Halfway through today's session, my phone vibrates. Chelsea, her 3rd text today. Can't wait to see you next weekend. We need sister time before the wedding craziness kicks in. I slide the phone back into my purse without answering. Dr. Winters raises an eyebrow. Your sister again? Apparently we're best friends now, I say with a dry laugh. Funny how she never texted this much when we lived 30 minutes apart. What do you think she's reaching for? A ride from the airport? Alone. The old version of me, the one who hauled around her emotional baggage and her literal luggage. 2. My fingers glide across the fabric swatch resting on my lap midnight blue silk for the custom dress I ordered. 3 fittings to make sure it drapes flawlessly from my shoulders. Traces my shape without apology. A color chosen for power, not reconciliation. They've deployed the flying monkeys. I tell Dr. Winters. Uncle Pete lectured me last night about family unity. Aunt Judith emailed a sermon about forgiveness. Even Vanessa's fiancé messaged me on Facebook. They're coordinating, she observes gently. And how does that land with you? The old me would have said fine. Always fine. Instead, I acknowledged the truth in my body, the tightening in my throat, the cool dampness at my temples, the faint tremble along my fingers. Terrified, I admit, but ready. Later that night, I spread out the seating chart Vanessa accidentally sent to the whole group across my kitchen table. There I am wedged between my parents, directly across from Chelsea. A perfect little tableau of restored harmony. I grab my phone. Vanessa? It's Iris. I have a small favor to ask about the seating arrangements. Friday comes wrapped in San Francisco fog that lifts as my plane rises above it. Somewhere over Oregon, the clouds thin, revealing the patchwork landscape of my childhood. My pulse speeds up as we descend into Portland. The rehearsal dinner venue glows amber against the dusk. Standing on the sidewalk, I touch the smooth stone pendant Monica gave me before I left. Strength isn't the absence of fear, she'd said. It's moving forward even while you feel it. I square my shoulders and pull open the heavy wooden door. Conversations freeze mid-breath. Head swivel. My mother's hand leaps to her throat. My father's drink stalls halfway up. I've changed. The Iris who fled last Christmas was thin and dim. This version tailored black trousers, emerald silk blouse. Heels that strike the floor with intention is solid, present. Diamond studs catch the light as I survey the room. Offering nods without rushing to anyone, Chelsea reaches me first. Arms opening for a hug, but something about her is different. The designer watch is missing. Her hair's highlights have grown out. Her smile looks tight, not triumphant. You look incredible, she says, giving me a quick embrace. Thank you. I step back, keeping my space untouched. How's the BMW holding up? Her eyes flick away. I traded it in. Got a Honda, more realistic. Over her shoulder, I see my parents conferring with Aunt Martha. Mom dabs her eyes with a cocktail napkin. Dad's posture sags in a way I've never seen. Cousin Tara appears at my elbow, swirling a vodka tonic. Oh, thank God you're here, she whispers. You wouldn't believe the chaos since Christmas. Your parents are selling the house? She lowers her voice. They claim medical bills, but everyone knows they've been propping up Chelsea for years. Reality finally caught up. A waiter passes with champagne. I take a glass, watching the bubbles rise and burst. Just like family narratives, what floats eventually bursts. Uncle Simon joins me, squeezing my hand warmly. You're looking radiant, Iris. Work in San Francisco must be treating you well. Senior project manager now, I reply, still savoring the words. His eyebrows shoot up. Really? That's fantastic.